Buzu Lancers, we live on Turtle Island. Turtle Island refers to the continent of North America. The name comes from indigenous oral histories that tell stories of a turtle that holds the world on its back. The turtle is considered a symbol of life and earth, and the story of Turtle Island speaks to the Ojibwe sacred spiritual and cultural beliefs. Long ago, after the Great Spirit Kichi-Manitou created humans, the Anishinaabe wandered away from their peaceful ways and began to fight amongst themselves. Gone were the people's harmonious ways. Discord, jealousy, and bitterness ruled the people. Seeing that the people had lost their peaceful ways and there was no longer respect for all living beings, Kichi-Manitou decided to cleanse the earth by bringing about a flood that drowned the Anishinaabe people and most of the animals. This flood was known as Mushko-Biwan. The only person to survive the flood was Nanabuzu and a few animals that could swim or fly. Nanabuzu floated on a log and searched for land. No land could be found because the entire earth had been flooded. As Nanabuzu was very kind, he allowed the remaining animals to take turns resting on the log. Nanabuzu spoke and said, "I'm going to dive to the bottom of the water and grab a handful of earth. With this earth, we can make a new land on which to live." Nanabuzu dived into the water and disappeared for a long time. He surfaced, gasping for air, and murmured, "The water is too deep for me to reach the bottom." Then the loon spoke, "I can dive deep into the water. That is how I catch my food. I'll try to make it to the bottom and return with some earth in my beak." The loon made a clean dive into the water and returned with no earth because he could not reach the bottom. After that, many more animals, including the mink and turtle, tried to reach the bottom to bring much needed earth to the surface. Then after it seemed that no one would be able to reach the bottom and bring earth to the surface in order to create a new beginning for all living things, the muskrat came forward and said, "I'll try." The muskrat dived into the water, was underwater for a long time. The muskrat reached the bottom and grabbed some earth with his paws. On the surface of the water, everyone waited, and finally, the muskrat's body floated to the surface. Nanabuzu pulled the motionless body onto the log. "Brothers and sisters," said Nanabuzu. "Muskrat went too long without air, and he is now dead." A song of mourning and praise was heard across the water as the muskrat's spirit passed on to the spirit world. Suddenly, Nanabuzu realized that the muskrat's paws was clenched tightly. He carefully opened the small paw and said, "Look, there's a small ball of earth in the muskrat's paw." All the other animals gathered around in awe and excitement. Then all shouted with joyfulness, "Muskrat sacrificed his life so that the life on earth could begin anew." Nanabuzu took the ball of earth and held it in its hand. Just then the turtle swam forward and said, "Use my back to bear the weight of this piece of earth. With the help of Kichi-Manitou, we can make a new earth." Nanabuzu put the small piece of earth on the turtle's back. Suddenly the wind blew from the 4 directions. A tiny ball of earth started to grow. It grew and grew until it formed a mini-sea, or island in the water. The island grew larger and larger, heavier and heavier, but still the turtle bore the weight of the earth on its back. They danced in a widening circle and sang songs of praise on the growing island. After a while, the 4 winds ceased to blow, and the water became still. A huge island sat in the middle of the water, and that island today is known as North America. Many First Nations peoples, including the Ojibwe, hold special respect for the turtle who sacrificed his life so that the Earth's people could have a second chance. This is my painting I did with Moses that illustrates Turtle Island surrounded by water like North America. Miigwech.